Hello and welcome to this podcast. My name is Dan and we are joined today by Eram.
Hello.
Liam.
Hey, how you doing?
And Mr. Jack Stent.
Hi.
He's the Mr. Jack Stent because he's wearing a hat that isn't a beanie.
So hats now. He needs to make you a mister.
Yeah, hats. Okay. So we've recorded a couple of podcasts in the past. We normally start off on an idea where we chat about something that we don't really have 100% grip on, but we like to talk about them anyway because that's what this is. This is the armchair. So it's like armchair politics, armchairs, philosophy,
opinions.
So
But only two of us are sat in armchairs.
Yeah, except for Eram, who's.
I will get more armchairs. I'm in a garden chair.
I'm on a
Lawn
drum
chair.
I'm on a drum stool. But yeah.
I'm on a broken desk chair,
So.
and I want a leather wingback.
Well, I want a leather wing. You see my sofa?
I think this is
In
a
the study.
fishing chair.
Fishing.
It's a
It's
camp
actually
chair.
from Reading, so
Yeah, it's a download Reading style camp chair.
Actually,
that-
it's been
Surprised it's not in
to
half.
Glastonbury as well, so that seems some action.
so it's a
that
miracle
chair.
that you're sat in it at all.
I haven't been to any of those, so I'm going to call it a fishing chair because I have been fishing.
Because Glastonbury
But not in
is
that
for
chair.
fishing.
Yeah.
It depends what you're fishing for.
Ooh.
Hey. Yeah, so we are a jack of all knowledge, but a master of none. So today we're starting off with the jumping off point of, I believe.
Can you remember the wording?
I'm trying to think of the word. So I believe that smart people are never politicians and politicians are never smart people. I say never. There's a couple of characters that have popped up recently that...
Boris Johnson, genius.
Hero.
Destroyer of children.
He's the reason why I say they're not smart. But no, you have certain people that who are like a bit professorish. You have in the States at the moment, you have Bernie Sanders or Sanders, however it's pronounced.
Bernie
Colonels.
Sanders, yeah,
Colonel.
Colonel's brother.
And then you also have another professor type in England at the moment who both Eram and Jack completely hate.
Oh,
Who's
God.
that?
Corbyn.
Corbyn is not a professor.
Jesus.
He looks
Christ.
like a professor.
He looks like a professor, but that's about
And like,
it.
he does do lectures at university, so
He looks like the guy that always says good morning to you after picking his newspaper up on your street.
on your
like a
street. Yeah, you've
professor.
never met him. He lives on your road.
He lives
but
on your road.
says,
You don't know
"Hello."
who he is, but he always says good morning, and you go, yeah, morning.
There's a guy down our road like
He's
that,
not a professor.
and you're not allowed to engage with him.
Yeah.
He
He's
does.
never allowed to play knockdown ginger in his house because
No.
he'll always catch you.
He's still got a Hillman Avenger in
No.
his driveway I don't think has ever moved. I think his wife is buried underneath it. He bought a new car and then 3 years later it died. So he parked it on the drive.
He also has a
Suffering
caravan
the same
underneath
fate.
a blue tarp.
Yeah. Never comes into
Which is
action.
actually a meth lab.
Yeah. If Breaking Bad has taught us
So
anything.
what makes you think Jeremy Corbyn is a professor?
No, he just looks like the way he wears like the mismatched blazers. Like I can imagine him and Robbie Williams in Good Will Hunting.
Okay, so
hang
you're
out.
just saying he like
No, but-
aesthetically looks like
But
a
he
professor.
also
until he opens his mouth.
Yeah.
He is pretty smart.
Really?
Like no, okay. I wouldn't say smart. He doesn't peddle the same shit that most politicians peddle.
That I actually, as much as I'm not a Corbyn fan, I definitely agree that he seems to be a lot more honest.
Yeah, he's
Than a lot
he's
of
very
politicians.
down to earth people, and that's
He's honest, but he's just fucking wrong.
It's true, yeah, no.
Yeah, but
he
that-
is wrong.
I knew this would be a sensitive subject, like straight from the go, because it was like politicians.
Don't
Fuck,
get me wrong.
like-
I think his what he does is good, but he's not very good at being a politician as well as a smart person.
What do you define?
That's
yeah,
right.
exactly,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
what I'm saying. It doesn't work. Like I can never see him getting into power because you don't generally have them type of people as politicians, and a lot of people who are smart say no, I'll stick out politics.
Can I say
it's a rat race.
one thing? And this might be incredibly xenophobic, but I don't know why it would be. If I'm voting for a politician in this country, I want him to be a politician for this country. I'm not voting for the Prime Minister of England and France and Syria and all these different. I want.
So you're just
I'm
happy
hearing
with the
someone
guy-
that's voting for
Of course,
Farage.
I live in this country.
No. So you're just happy with the guy that's basically sucking the dick of the United States.
You have to remember. Well, like, you have to,
I've gone there.
Being an immigrant from many generations ago, you have to think like there's a lot of problems even in the UK that need to be sorted before maybe we can help others. I love this. Yeah, the sound of beer bottles opening during the podcast. So, can we explain basically what we do while we do these podcasts?
I'm guessing everyone sat in a pub and just drank and tried to talk the world to rights, and that's basically the idea of the armchair.
Except we're not in a pub.
Except we're not in a pub because we wouldn't be allowed to record there. We'll probably get shit
A shed.
And there'll be a lot more noise. So yeah, we're in my recording studio, basically getting drunk,
Yeah,
which
there
is
is
fantastic.
There is a drum set behind me. If you don't believe me, here's a.
Can you give me some snare? Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's. Hopefully, that's not going to deafen too many people.
I can't even remember what I was saying. Bring us back.
An immigrant for many years.
For
many years, a traveller.
I've been an immigrant all my life.
Well, as long as I can remember.
So yeah, basically, my thing is, and this is what I always say with politics between the Tory party and the Labour Party is that the Tories are right for all the wrong reasons, and the Labour Party are wrong for all the right reasons. The left-wing politics, I think, is politics of the future. It's not for now. In that, left-wing politics is all about everyone being equal, but until everyone's on the same page, it will never work.
No, absolutely.
Well, that's why I've always said. Sorry, but that's why I've always said I'm not either left or right. I take bits from. Like Tories, I take bits from Labour, and I choose what I think is the best. And that's why we should either have a system where we have 2 prime ministers, like the Romans did. That was always a good idea because you had one person on the one side, one person from the other, and they couldn't.
But was it better?
But how'd you get shit done? How'd you get shit done?
Well, they'd have to agree on it, and if they don't, then you get someone who's.
I just want to point
biased.
out that the most unequal thing you can do in this world is try and make things that are unequal equal. If that makes sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But wouldn't it be amazing if you could?
Yeah, but you can't. I mean,
No,
I was having this discussion with someone the other day, and she was really upset because I was telling a story about I went to a school, a primary school with a lot of kids with physical disabilities, mostly cerebral palsy, where their motor skills were shot.
Wait, before you say, are we going to have to cut this?
No.
Okay.
And
you have said. Yeah, quite controversial things on other podcasts that we've had to cut out.
And they used to put a kid with quite bad cerebral palsy. His legs just didn't function as well as for the I don't know the PC word for it. People without cerebral palsy.
Normies are
normies.
So they used to put this guy with cerebral palsy in like something like a 300-meter dash. Is that fair?
It depends. If he wants it depends if he wants to go
against people who don't have cerebral palsy. Yes,
right.
That's why you have the Paralympics. I was going to call it the Special Olympics.
The Special Olympics is a thing, but that's not what you're talking about.
I am so for the Paralympics because if they want to compete, fine, but compete. It's a landslide. It's not fair for that kid whose legs don't work in the same way as people who don't have cerebral palsy. When they're done, they're going to look back. He's gone like 15 meters. It's not fair. It will destroy him.
Does he not want to take part?
He does want to take part.
So let him take part.
Sure. But let him take part with other kids with cerebral palsy because there were other kids with cerebral palsy.
Yeah, but what about if he wants to take part with everyone else? Because surely sometimes he doesn't want to feel like an outsider.
Okay.
And is this where I could be really controversial?
Don't do it.
No,
Shall
do
I
it.
not?
No, do it.
Go on, jump in.
Oh, that's 2 against 1. So, well, if he wants to take part with people who are, and this isn't in a bad way of saying it, able-bodied, then he could just be given a handicap.
That's the word I used.
Yeah.
Well, they could be given a handicap.
That's why the word handicap exists.
So equate him some form of head start. I mean, they do that.
Exactly.
They do it in the Paralympics. So when you pick a basketball team, they pick how severe your disability is.
Yeah.
But
so
if you've got no legs,
but the point,
and you're doing wheelchair basketball, you're one score. But if you've got one leg, you're a slightly different score because you're slightly more able-bodied.
But the point I was trying to make about trying to make unequal things equal is, If
Who
he wants
made
to
him race? I've just got to ask that. Who made him race?
Nobody made him race.
So
Well,
he
his
chose.
choice
So
then.
he chose.
He chose, but what I'm trying to
So
say
everyone
is,
should be allowed to choose.
no, listen. If you're going to say everybody's equal, if everyone in that race is equal, he came last by a long fucking way.
But,
Well, all right.
but he wanted
you know,
to do it.
This is my thing that I always say about that, because at the end of the day, no one is equal.
Of course
but
they're
everyone
not.
is equal because everyone is an individual. Everyone is their own person, and that's what makes us equal.
The monster raving loony party knows they're not going to win, but they want to take part, and so they do, and they lose by a
But
landslide.
they're a joke.
But they're still allowed to take part.
Look, I'm not saying
They've got
they
some
should-
fantastic
I'm-
policies.
I'm not saying they shouldn't take part. But what I'm saying is, if you say to these kids, you're all the same, you're all
Oh no,
equal.
no, 'cause- okay, yeah, I understand that because
Yeah.
that's like saying everyone's a trophy winner. Then we're not
No,
keeping score
no,
when they
no,
play
no, not
football.
that at
No,
all.
because it is basically the same thing. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, when people are like, "Oh, we're going to play football," well, we're not going to keep counting the score. No, because sometimes you need to learn when you lose.
But it's
like,
not even that.
That's how you
If you
create
say
people.
if you say to these kids, you know, you've got seven. There's 10 people running a race. 7 people haven't got cerebral palsy. 3 people have. But you're all exactly the same. You're all totally equal. Well, those 7 dudes that just finished the race 10 minutes before you did, you're fucking shit. You're so slow. You can't.
Well, I wouldn't call them
Pete,
shit.
No, I wouldn't. But you could.
But they're
do it like-
equal. So why can't you? They're
You-
worse than the
No,
others.
I actually completely agree with your point, because we're in a
course.
society where everyone is equal, everyone's the same. Where actually, no, the whole point of our society is everyone is individual.
If everyone's equal, I should be allowed to play arm wrestling with kids with no arms. Because they're equal to me, and I'll fucking beat them, hands down. Pun intended.
How do you know when you
You
start?
can't get a hand down.
No, how do you know that you've started?
That's a fair point.
No, but you see the point I'm trying to make. If,
Yeah.
But
But
you're
I'm
saying
not
about-
sure what this has got to do with the politics side of this.
No,
because it comes on to equality, and I said the worst thing you can do about equality is try and put things or people that aren't equal.
Sorry, I can't remember if we did say it. I was just saying I believe on both.
Yeah,
like
no.
both sides.
What we were saying is basically left wing politics is trying to make everyone more equal. So,
Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah,
when
yeah.
you go over to communism, it's all about everyone is
Oh
the
no,
same.
no.
Whereas
Communism would never like. Don't say they are.
communism doesn't work because of the human condition. That's it.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
human
yeah.
condition
I want
because
more than him.
everyone thrives for more, and there's also the people who are lazy and won't thrive, and who will just enjoy living off the other people's back. So
But
everyone knows that communism doesn't work.
I
Yeah.
still believe that left wing politics will eventually take over when humans start realizing, we should actually just start caring for each other more and more. So I don't actually disagree with left wing politics. It's just that there are too many people who don't understand it or can't comprehend it or just
They're
want to
elitists.
take advantage of it. So if everyone's on the same page and everyone agrees, we have to do this for each other, left-wing politics will work. But as soon as there's one person who starts taking advantage of it, it all falls to
It's
pieces.
like if you
what
all
you're
started
saying-
again on a desert island, if you all said, right, okay, we all understand we need to build shelter. If there's that one guy who goes, oh, no, actually, I don't really fancy, can you build my house? You would just drown him.
Yeah, okay, that's
You
what
would
I'm saying.
just drown
so,
him. You
so
go,
what I was
well,
about to
everyone's
say.
pulling their weight.
Or you'd let him
So
sleep
you
in the
agree
rain.
on genocide?
Sorry?
Genocide.
Well, I did not say anything about genocide.
Kill the racists.
When did that get
Well,
said?
no,
I blacked out for a minute.
I'm not
Where
sure
did
where
that
this
come from?
Why,
No,
why
no,
am
no,
I a genocidal
No, no,
person?
no. Well, it's the idea of it's not genocide.
Homicide?
Xenophobe? What are you talking
Pesticide?
about? Pesticide.
No,
Yes, that is such an accurate,
No.
such an accurate terminology for
What
what we're
was
talking
like
about.
the Darwin thing, which
Oh, the Darwin
Evolutionary
Awards.
theory.
no, what?
Darwin Awards, where people
The
that are so
evolutionary
stupid just
theory.
end
It's
up
not the-
dying.
It's the idea of kill off the weak, so the strong
Survival
can
of the
survive.
fittest.
And there was a name for
Yeah.
it, and I can't
Survival
think
of
of what
the
it
fittest.
was
That's
called.
completely not what I'm saying.
Natural selection.
But
Natural selection.
Yeah, but there was a people that sort of took it too far. Like it sounded like euthanasia, but it's not euthanasia. Although
Oh, they're called morons.
no, but
Very
it's-
similar to euthanasia.
people just like
I
we'll
want to die.
kill off the people that won't do the work, and like we're like the best ones, and so everyone else should not.
That's not what I'm saying. What
It's
I'm
almost
saying is
fascism.
everyone needs to have the same
Yeah.
mindset, not that we should get
Yeah,
rid
but
of
to
people
get
who
everyone-
don't.
Not that you should tell people what the mindset
but
is.
Did
Yeah.
Liam not just say that if some guys like don't, he won't create a shelter, and then we should drown him?
Yeah, but that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's
I'm
more
saying,
tongue-in-cheek. Maybe he should learn.
What I'm saying is, until everyone has the same mindset, not that we should get rid of people, but we should educate people.
Or tell people
to
what that
realise
mindset is.
we should educate people that we should do things for mutual benefit.
Unfortunately,
I help you because
people won't want to learn that.
Well,
No.
this is why I said it's politics of the future, because at this moment in time,
But do you believe that with the human condition that people will start?
We will be
want to
robots.
have to
well,
learn?
consider what we're doing right now and what would have happened, I don't know, like thousands and thousands of years ago. Would we really be sitting in a room discussing this kind of thing?
Not 1,000 years ago. I doubt an SM58 would have been.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So the technology's evolved, but I mean, could we not be having the same conversation
so
what the
wait.
Romans could have been having 1,000 years ago?
So, do we not evolve as people? Are you someone who's
Oh, no. Do we still not have the same things where we're all basically driven by the idea of getting our dicks wet?
I'm going to vote yes on that one.
I feel sorry for the potential one female listener that's going, I don't have a dick to get
Who's
wet.
just a downright feminist as well, who's going to run like, you fucking guys are all patriarchal maniacs.
You notice that his
Why is she American?
no, she was Jermaine Greer.
then.
Straight away, that was Jermaine Greer. Australian feminist nutcase.
Oh,
No,
God,
I've
could
always,
talk
I've
about
always
feminists
thought, like
for
when I was a kid, like
hours.
if you narrow it all the way down, like why do people want to work hard so they can get the money? Why do they want to get the money because so they can look flashy? Why do they want to look flashy so they can get the
yeah.
other
Look at
sex?
the end of
That's
the
the way
day.
I've always seen
We're
it.
in an age where we can kind of pursue our dreams more so than ever before. I.e., we are sitting in my little studio right now, which has been built like in the summer and now has a ridiculous amount of people constantly coming.
I do have an
Phrasing.
idea about the idea.
Oh yeah.
I have a thought about the idea of pursuing what you want instead of having to do jobs that you don't, because so the idea of having to work in a place that you could have a robot doing your job, but you're told that you have to do it because you don't want to be on the dole. But if it's not as if like 100 years ago where people had to wake up and had to farm because then you'd starve. Where
So essentially, consumer society, you'd be out. If there was no such thing as consumer society, you'd be out of a job. Working in a stockroom, in a shop.
Well, I don't think
we
a
won't say
robot
which
could do
shop
my
it
job.
is. A robot probably could do your job. If you look at the Thomann warehouse, the guitar store in Germany, they have a huge picking machine that goes down acres and acres of aisles. So you could have a robot doing anyone's job.
Yeah, but
Probably could have a robot doing my job. I'm trying to program a robot to do my job, so I don't have to fucking do it.
But what's wrong with thinking, okay, well, we don't need these people to do that. Give out a living wage for people that don't have to work, because we're at a point where we have a surplus of food and it's only going up. Like if we just gave out but that's the worst thing, because as soon as people start saying it's the dole or it's job seekers or something like that, it's always got this bad thing to it. But you don't need someone to make you a coffee if a robot can make you a coffee.
It comes down.
It'll never be as good as Erin made flat white with a heart in it.
We work to live, but in turn we live to work.
Yeah,
It's a vicious cycle.
But it all comes down to money. If
course.
whoever the deity is, I don't align.
Super Jesus.
Super G. So I don't
I'm
align myself
not-
to any of them. But if any one of them came back and said, "Right, how you getting on?" and we go, "Well,
Not
I wish
so
I wish
good.
I had a better house because I don't have enough money." Okay, so it's the deity coming down saying, "Okay, why is everyone sad? Oh, because I want a new house. So why don't you have a new house?" Because of money. That deity's going to look at you and go, what's happened? I gave you the earth to do with as you will, and then you've created this elitist society where some people have and some people haven't. And I personally am in the position now where I'm trying to save up for a deposit to buy a house. It's like chasing the dragon for a deposit, because if I go into a mortgage advisor today, they're going to say, okay, you need 12 grand. And between me and my partner, 500 quid a month, which is what I'm putting on credit cards at the moment, that's doable in a year. Easily doable, because £500 for me, £500, 12 grand. I'm going to have that 12 grand.
But then
say,
inflation.
Okay, it's 18. So the house price would have gone up. The amount they're going to likely to be lend me would have changed, because I'm not earning great money. I think I'm going to never own my own home.
No, like we've
So
literally got to the generation where apartment part buy is the only way people are going to be able to afford it.
Absolutely, shared ownership's the only way you can.
And that's how I got mine. Like, I had a £20,000 deposit.
Can I just put one thing forward, because you do realise that this is only based on location. Because if but
who doesn't want to live in London?
No, you're right. Absolutely right. If I moved to Chicago or Phoenix, Arizona, I could use in 110,000, which you couldn't buy a shed for in London.
Yeah,
like my friends moved to Dartford, 160,000, 2-bed flat, but that was 3 years ago. I could use that 160, buy a 5-bed, triple bath, triple garage house, and it's fucking huge in Phoenix, Arizona, and still have 40k left over.
Yeah.
My other half would have an equivalent job of an extra 10k pay rise, and I have some woodworking skills. And America's all their homes are built from wood.
That's
so
why
I could quite easily have a woodworking job industry.
Yeah.
I need to buy a flannel shirt like you two.
So the thing
fit the part.
The thing is, like, I know London is obviously the major city in England, but it's like people don't realise, like, you can live in other places.
Yeah, okay, but in England, if you go to other places, you also earn less.
Yeah, but
the cost of living, the divide between the average salary in an area and the average house price in an area, a very similar percentage difference apart as you travel about.
I get what Liam's saying, because, like, me and Leanne, we both work full time, and we've been to a mortgage advisor, and the mortgage we've been offered could buy us a 1-bedroom flat in Blackfen. In England, in Florida, could buy us a 6-bedroom house with money left over. It's insane, and I'm not entirely sure how people can get away with charging that much just because of the area.
Well, it's because people will pay for it.
Supply and demand. At the end of the day, there's only so much London. If house prices in London are really, like, standard, I don't know, the same as, for example, a house in Wales where you can buy like a £300,000 like absolute mansion, then what's going to happen? There's going to be so many people. London's just going to be overwhelmed.
No, it is,
so it is a case of supply and demand. There's only so much London that people can live in.
I think supply and demand's only half of it. One of my friends, he knows someone, so don't hate me.
I hate
one of his friends, for what he does, he can charge £2,500 a day.
Is he a prostitute?
No, I don't know what he does, and I don't want to know what he does, because that's the job I want. But if he's charging £2,500 a day, there is a fucking idiot somewhere who's paying him £2,500 a day, which makes him think he can charge £2,500 a day.
I'm not saying all of them, but we all pay that in some way because of banks.
Yeah,
and
like it's that reliance on cash.
Yeah, well, give a man a gun, he can rob a bank. Give a man a bank, and he can rob the world.
Yeah, that's quite a good saying, actually.
I want to go back to what Liam said about the diety thing. One thing I find really strange is that, maybe with the exception of ants, humans are the only species on the planet that work in the way we do.
Wolves.
They live off the fat of the land. They don't wake up. They don't wake up at 6 to start hunting at night. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, yeah, no.
Yeah, they're not. There's no circadian rhythm almost.
I want to sort of get back to this, because that's what I was saying. It's like we had to do that 100 years ago, but at this point now,
why do we have to do that?
We don't need to do that.
But the deity thing, there has never been a point where we would have needed to do that had someone not gone, oh, actually, I think this bag of grain is worth a bit more than a goat. Let's invent something that makes that bag of grain a number, that goat a number. Yeah. But I can't use that goat to buy that bag of grain.
Well, isn't the whole point of money an IOU, basically?
No, it is.
Because originally,
if I had a note in my pocket, it says, I promise to pay the bearer on demand the sum of that thing.
£5 in gold.
But it's all well and good having that on the note, but thanks to the one-eyed Scotsman, we no longer have the gold reserves that equates to that £10 that I have in my pocket. So it's literally worthless.
It's just a piece of paper.
It's a piece of paper. Yeah. There's no gold that has that value to it.
That's why
I'm just going to fucking sell it.
So this is why economics is basically just a human thing that we've invented.
It's an experiment. It is. It's completely invented.
And it keeps failing, and it keeps failing quicker and quicker. Because, so you had the Depression, and then you had the Great Depression, and then it keeps happening almost every 10 to 20 years now.
But I can't remember which Muse track it was. I probably should know. but it's the dubsteppy one.
Eurasia.
I don't know the dubstep.
Oh, wait,
Dubstep
the one where they're on
unfortunately.
a train. Music video, they're on a tube.
No.
Knights of Sidonia.
No, it was like
Love
the first
that
one
song.
off the last album.
I haven't
Actually, I say
listened to
last album. I
their
haven't
newer
listened.
stuff.
The one that's like
No, it's
wah,
yeah, it's on Second Law.
wah.
It's on Second Law. It's the penultimate track on Second Law. But there's something in there about you can't if it's a closed system, which is essentially what economics is. There is a set amount of money because as you print money, you have to destroy it.
Yeah.
That can't grow because if you try and make something that is a closed system grow, it's just going to explode. It's like if you filled a glass ball with water and say that's money, but then inflation, you're basically going, yeah, just squeeze a bit more in. Essentially, that's just going to explode like a water bomb. You keep water balloons a bit better
That's why it's
analogy.
called the bubble.
But you keep pumping it up and pumping it up, pumping it up. It's going to explode, and that's where you get the depression. And then someone goes, I missed that balloon. Let's get another balloon and then start filling that with money again. And it
That's why it's called the
doesn't
bubble
work.
that bursts. Yeah. But what I want to say is, if we figure out that some people don't need to wake up in the morning and make coffee because you can have a robot to do it, and they should be able, because if you look back at films in the 50s, it was all about how we'll be working a 3-day week and we'll have robots doing
I'd love
everything,
to work a 3-day
and we
week.
can relax. We're at that point now, but we don't like the idea of handing it out to people. But
Because
then
we
at that
need
point
money.
where we don't
That's
get-
the issue.
exactly.
Because if I need to earn enough money to pay my rent, that's it. If a robot was doing my job 2 days a week,
you wouldn't
have
get
enough
any
money.
money, no.
But then it's the whole thing of I need to pay some prick who decided he owns the house that I want to live in, so I owe him money. And it all boils
but-
back to who the fuck started money.
But if the government just decided to give it out because like
What are
we're
they
at
giving
that
out? The
point where-
robots?
what
Are they giving the robots
or the
out?
money?
Yeah, well, the robot. No, give out them. Like, give everyone money that they can live on.
Who decides how much money is given to who? Because if I was earning £3 million a year, I'm really not because I wouldn't be sat here.
No.
No
What are
offense
you
to you,
saying?
no offense to you guys, but if I had money, I wouldn't be here. So
He's one.
so if I had yeah, exactly, if I had 3 million, if I was taking in £3 million a year, and you're saying give everyone the money, do I get money?
Well, I guess it depends.
Do you give
on
me
whether,
a deposit, a small chunk of money? Do you give me the same money as a guy on the street?
Well, what I'm trying to say is, it's not about money. It's about what you need. So instead of money, you need food.
No, you're
We're
right.
at
You're
that
absolutely
point
right.
we have a surplus of food that we don't need people to keep working as hard as they do because we want someone to work in the shop when you don't need them.
No, you're absolutely right. You
what
are
we
absolutely
should-
right.
So what's left is art, and so I'm going to be like really liberal with the word artist here, but like someone who
This is where he goes. I'm going to be liberal with the word artist. Morrissey.
no, but like so well, basically content creators. If someone wants to sit at home and film themselves playing GTA and just like live off that, and that's what they're happy doing.
So you give your landlord a DVD of you playing GTA for 40 hours a week. There you go, mate.
No.
Thanks for letting me live in your flat. Here's the most boring video of me beating a guy to death with a dildo for 40 hours.
Funny YouTube
No.
clips.
I think you're misunderstanding his point. Go on, carry on.
I've lost myself a little bit now, but the idea is like
It's an understatement.
we should be able to pursue what we want to do.
Yes, we should be able to.
And we are starting to, in all fairness, because now there are people literally playing GTA and living off of it.
Yeah.
That didn't
Because-
happen 30 years
Because
ago.
of ads on YouTube that pay them.
But even still, these people
But
are
ads
now...
on YouTube that pay them. It all boils down to money. I'm trying to run a business, and it's like, okay, I know that there's things in my business that I need, but I can't afford to get those things
When
because.
you-
But then
well,
there's
yeah,
also
well, it's
people
like-
that need what I do.
When you think about the concept of work, though, as it is, I mean, back in cavemen days, if people were hungry, they would go and kill a pig if they wanted some meat, or they'd go grab an apple off a tree,
Yeah.
and that's it. They'd eat. They wouldn't be hungry. Now you have to go through the middleman, so he can give you that bit of paper that then allows you to go and get that bit of meat you want.
No, you're right.
Where did that start? Because who said, I own this tray of apples? You can't have it unless you do this for me. Then I'll give you an apple.
Again, I think
Back-
it's the whole IOU thing, because say for example, probably in ancient times it was very much a basis of trade. You know,
and they
this
couldn't
goat
see
for-
blue.
Yeah,
For the bag
they
of
couldn't see
whatever,
blue, so the sky was bronze, and you know. I would be like, oh, I've got this goat. Can I have 10 apples? Or I don't know if that's like
you're
trading
right.
That'd be some
economics.
fucking
But
good apples.
What happens if you're like, you know, my goat isn't grown up enough yet. I need to give something. I need these apples because I'm going to die otherwise. I need something to eat. But my goat, I've definitely got that. I'll give that to you.
Don't get me wrong. You're right. But at what point did people start to believe? So a guy wants an apple from a tree that's quite close to his little hut or tent or whatever. But there's a guy there and he says, you can have these apples that are created from the ground up. They're nothing to do with me. I'm just standing by this apple tree. You can only have these apples if you give me your goat. And he said,
you sound like,
all right.
It sounds like you're saying that ownership he assumed ownership of that tree. But there are things that I own that I know that I own because I've fucking bought them.
Yeah,
so if someone wants to use, so if someone else used it, but then back to your thing about the guy who wants a pig, say, if one day, while no, I've completely lost myself because you just did that.
No, I wasn't actually doing that to you. I was just stretching my arm.
Oh, right. I thought you were telling me further away, closer.
No. I was literally, my arm just needed to go click.
If when he was hunting for a pig, he broke his leg and then couldn't go and hunt for another pig, and his mate was another hunter-gatherer, can you go and get me a pig? That guy, someone at some point's gone, what's in it for me to go and get you?
It all comes down to
what's
greed.
in it for me to go and get you that pig?
It all comes down to greed.
So essentially, you'll have to pay him with the leg of a pig. Obviously, don't know why that's quite obvious, but I would say that.
A leg of a pig.
It's obvious.
Everything is leg of pig.
Not the hide of the pig. Where the sweet bacon.
But yeah, there's got to be a point where someone said, "Okay, I've done something for you. You do something for me." But it's now got to that stage that's something I've done for you has a value in monetary terms.
Well, this is it. This is what I think of money as now, is your time putting to dedicating yourself to someone else's work. They give you an IOU that you can then invest in other things.
Other services, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a universal measure.
Basically, yeah.
But the point I'm trying to get at is these people went from, if they wanted something, they just went and got it. And then all of a sudden, everything, what they've wanted is void. It's like, no, you can't have that until you do something for me. So say, in this day and society, so Asda's is like 5 minutes down the road. Say, since you've been born, if you wanted a bag of crisps that weren't in the house, you just popped to Asda's, they had the bag of crisps, you picked it up, you took it home. But then the next day you go, and there's a guy standing in front of the crisps who said, you can't have them unless you give me something. What would you think?
Are you saying
I'll get
that
on my
Asda's...
knees
Yeah, no,
and
you're
suck
right.
his cock.
But then it's like, Asda's own that.
Disgusting.
So but they've bought it. No, I completely get where you're coming from.
I'm trying to put it in modern day terms. Well, you would think, well, why? Because yesterday I could come get this bag of crisps, no problem, no questions asked. But now there's a guy standing there saying, unless you do something or give something to me, you're not having them. You just sort of think, where has this come from? But people obviously agreed to it and thought, this is fine, this is the way it should work.
It's probably because, say, for example, I'm living in a certain place, say, all right, Arabia, because I'm like kind of brown. So
dipped in
all right.
tea.
So what is the thing I'm going to be missing? Maybe water. I've got all these other things. I don't know. I've got like this shiny stuff that is like gold or something. And I've met this guy who has water. And I'm like, I really need that. And then he's like, okay, well, I'll give you that. But that looks quite nice. How about we trade? That's probably where it comes from.
I think
it's a case of you give to me, I give to you.
I think you're missing a step as well, because if you're providing a service for each other, if you move somewhere new and you're like, oh, I don't know how to get water here, and you go to a local, how do you get water here? And it's like, well, I'll get you water. Come with me. I'll show you how to do it. But he's got to be. There's always that human condition of what am I getting out of this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
It's a human condition.
But that's like the very basic form. When do you think it then turned into? You go to the guy in front of the pigs and he says, you have to give me something, but you also have to go to the hut down the road and sit there for 10 hours. Then they'll give you something so that you can come and get some, so that you can give it to me. When 6 weeks ago you could have come and just picked it up.
It's just the process of
it's a human condition.
It's monetizing the thing. So it's putting that worth on. So it's saying a goat is worth 10 coins and a bag of grain is worth 3 coins. Where yesterday I could go and get.
It's basically making your services universally transferable.
Yeah.
So me working for this person doesn't just get me what they can provide, but also what other people can provide as and when I need it.
Yeah, so would you rather get WH Smith tokens, no diss to WH Smith, would you rather get a tenner's worth of coupons or a tenner?
Oh yeah, no, totally. I get that. I just wonder at what point did the people who agreed to it sort of think this is going to work well?
Probably because it started working well at one point,
And then
and then greed happened.
Yeah.
Because obviously that goat, there's a cost involved to raising that goat to a level. So that guy at some point had just an arbitrary number. Well, that goat is worth to me this much.
Yeah.
Without taking into consideration everything he's done to get the goat to where it is now.
I mean, it's the thing. I mean, I don't know how true this is, but if wealth was distributed equally, we'd all, be quite well off. I don't know how true this is.
It's that recent Oxfam statistic of the top 62 people in the world, all their money accounts for the bottom half of the rest of society.
Yeah.
Of the rest of the world. But what they have included in that bottom half is people with debt. So if you'd say the person with the least is the person with the most debt, say they were in £100,000 of debt, you're starting that 50% off at minus 100,000.
I have a problem.
So when you add all the
debt.
minuses, you get to a point where you've got a quarter of the population and there's zero money.
Yeah.
So then you'll get into the next 25% that will equal them. So if you ignore the people with debt, that statistic is probably something closer to 25%. Not 50%.
I actually have a huge problem with the idea of debt because, well, not with the idea of debt, but that
Compound
debt,
interest.
Well, no, a lot of debt comes from credit cards, and credit cards should not be given to people.
To stupid people.
Well, no, to people because the
This is why they're
idea
trying
of credit was created
Was to fuck you over.
No, the idea of credit was created for merchants because it's like I'll get money once I've sold this on to someone else.
It's that 30-day period. I mean, I run my own business. So at the moment, it's that 30 days. So I give you an invoice, and I know you don't have that well, some of our clients, I know you've got that fucking money now. Just pay me that fucking money now.
Yeah.
but there's always that 30-day...
Some of them are waiting to sell something on, so then and that's why credit was created. It shouldn't be created for... Okay, sorry. It shouldn't be created so people can just be like, oh, well, I want to buy this, but I haven't got the money for it now.
Yeah, but it's just the whole human mindset is... Oh yeah, but I will have it. But I really want this thing. I'm just gonna. Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, and then they don't. And then
did
they
you
don't
buy
pay
your
for
Kemper on credit, or did you buy it in cash?
No. Well, this is.
It's a direct debit.
No. I actually pretty much paid for it all, but then I got the last bit on a loan to improve my credit rating. But every item I've bought in this studio,
you've bought
I've
when you've had the money.
Enough money, but I buy it on finance.
I mean, I hate
to improve my credit rating.
I mean, I hate having credit cards. I
don't
really
have
I hate having them. I have a credit card.
One and then got rid of it.
I have a credit card because I get 3% cash back on fuel. Not to plug that particular bank, but you know who that is potentially.
I don't because I don't
so
drive.
There's the
American
do you
Express?
guys do you drive?
I'm going to say it's
so
HSBC.
the Santander 123 current account,
Santander.
credit card. I'm not a financial advisor. You get 3% cash back on fuel, so it means I can buy the best fuel, and it's actually cheaper than supermarket fuel.
Really?
Which is shit. Yeah, because you get 3%, essentially 3% off. That's the reason I have a credit card, because I get fuel cheaper. If I shop in a supermarket, that's 1% cash back. I get my stuff cheaper, but then I pay it off.
Yeah.
If I'm going to make a big purchase, I see it as reverse saving. I know I'm going to have £1,000 then, but I'm not going to wait until July to buy my ticket the day before I want to go on holiday. I've got available credit on my credit card. I can save up to that point, but in reverse. So I know that it's going to take me 6 months to save for it, but I have to start saving in December. If I put it on my credit card that's 0% purchases, I'll save the same, but put it on my credit card. And it's already bought and secured and paid for.
See, I have a problem with...
It's saving in reverse in my head.
I have a problem with buying things that I don't have the money for. That's why I say I don't have credit cards now.
Like, this is why I'm always like, I make sure I have the money before I do it, but I don't necessarily buy it in one go, so that I don't lose like £1,000, which I saved up. I have £1,000 ready. Then I buy it on, I don't know, 10-month finance. So
exactly,
£100. So that £1,000 goes.
So you do it the same way I do it. So it's essentially, a similar way.
Similar, yeah.
Yeah. So you have that funds, you leave it alone.
Yeah.
And it does, and you buy it a different way.
I have an interesting way of creating good credit. Basically, there's certain stores where you can buy things online.
Are we going to need a lawyer for this?
No. Where you buy things online and they're delivered to the store, and you're supposed to go collect the item. If you don't collect the item, you get automatically refunded after 2 weeks, thus creating credit without having to pay anything.
In what?
As in, like, you're
So
spending
you give them the money,
and then the money
they
goes
give
back
you
onto
back
the card.
the money
Yeah. So then you're putting money back onto the card.
that you've taken off the card.
Yeah.
So it's saying, I have 3
So you
apples. I'm going to
basically-
give you an apple. 2 weeks later, give me back those apples I've given you.
So
I
you
have
pay back
3
the money.
apples.
So you pay back the money onto the card.
But it's 3 apples. You've still got 3 apples.
Are you actually doing this?
That's
no,
like-
I'm not doing this. I'm saying you
Oh,
credit
so
score.
I
I don't do
understand.
this. I'm saying you could do this. I'm saying you could buy something in a shop. We're on a credit card. Then don't pick up
On a
2
credit
weeks.
card, yes. No, I get you now.
I think
no,
he's talking
yeah,
about
that's
credit
what
score.
No, I absolutely
That's
get
what
you.
I meant credit score. Yeah.
Can I just bring us back to the original point of this podcast?
I quite like that it's rambling.
No, the idea of the podcast is we go off on random tangents. I know we haven't actually spoke about smart people and politics.
I've got visions of a guy with his headphones on in the pub, just thinking.
This said politics.
No, just sitting there like, God damn, these
Have you
dudes know a lot
listened to the
about
Ricky
credit.
Gervais podcast? Have you listened to the Ricky Gervais podcast about?
I hate
you
Ricky
listen to
Gervais. I'm sorry.
love him, but you listen to his thing about podcasts. It's an hour of not politics.
No.
Or he's got one about philosophy. It starts philosophy and ends up Carl Pilkington saying that he swam with a carrier bag. Or
Carl
something.
Pilkington is one of the most smartest men in the world, and he acts like the most stupidest fucker.
Is he a character?
Well, who's-
Yeah, he is a character because there's no way that you can be that stupid
What's
and
the-
be in the position that he was in.
The awkward
what-
thing with Carl Pilkington is I sometimes agree with him.
Same.
And it's like, am I wrong for agreeing with Carl
He's like,
Pilkington
look
because
at
he's
it-
a fucking
At the
moron?
end of the day, Alan Davies from QI.
QI, you know,
Yeah,
but he
he's
plays it up-
actually so intelligent, but
Yeah.
yeah, obviously he
producers-
plays the
but
idiot.
no,
No,
there's-
the producers forced him to do it because
Yeah.
in the first couple of seasons he was coming out with the obvious answer and then getting the thing in
Yeah.
QI, and then season 3 and 4 he was like, "I ain't fucking doing this. No,
Yeah.
I'm going to keep quiet." And the producers, that John Lloyd,
And so he
bloke, had
started
to
winning.
come. No, that's the guy had to come back to him and say, "Yeah, people only really watch it because
You're a jackass.
because you give the wrong answers."
Yeah.
And then he's had to play the fool a bit.
But there's a Carl Pilkington thing, and it's like I don't think people
not the
should
moaning of
plan
life?
thing. No, it was on a Christmas special like
He
years
hates
ago.
forced fun.
No, and it's like we should.
That sounds like rape.
No, but it's like we
That's
should
not forced fun.
Oh,
Forced fun is right.
That's a can of worms.
That's an edit.
Keep
And
Jack
cut.
away from the microphone for a minute. no. He
It's like the winky wanky woo voice from Derek and Clive. Have you not listened to Derek and Clive?
The winky wanky woo voice. That
It's-
is
right.
the best quote.
For anyone
ever.
that knows, Derek and Clive were those two guys. Peter
Were
Cook
they
and
the puppets?
No. It's
What
Peter
are
Cook.
Muppets? There
Peter
was
Cook
two
and
The
Dudley.
Muppets?
Oh, I know who you're talking about, but the name
The
escapes
ones with
me.
the zips and they look like aliens.
Zippy.
I'm not
Oh,
talking
clangers.
about Marlon Marley.
Bob Marley?
No.
Avenue Q.
Just saying words. here.
for porn. No, I have no idea what I'm on about.
No, it's Peter Cook and Dudley Moore had these two characters, Derek and Clive, and they were the dirty bastards that would sit in the pub and have these horrible conversations. And one of them, it was a guy, he had this horrible voice, and he just sound. There's nothing you can say in this voice without sounding like a complete fucking wrong 'un. And the opening line, it's a bit just and it's all at the back of the throat, and the line in the in the piece. Yeah, no, exactly. The line that he opens with in the audiobook that we've got at home is, "Would you be interested in a sex crime?"
That sounds
And
a
it
bit
kinda
like
s-
salad fingers.
And it can't. It's a bit, yeah, but it sets the tone for the rest of the 5 minutes of that, and it's something else.
It reminds me of old snooker commentators back when you could smoke indoors and you just be
Yeah,
watching
'cause all-
snooker.
And when you could drink when playing darts.
And he's gone for the black and nearly went in, so we'll get back in on that in a minute. But
I think,
we're going to stop for a fag now.
Back to the
Actually,
table.
Yeah, back to the table.
I think Dave Webb, Mitchell and Webb do a good take on that.
Yeah.
On
That
Is it
what
Mitchell and Webb?
drinking during
Yeah.
darts or smoke? Oh, the smoking in the smoking.
yeah,
sleep
or the
commentator.
drinking during darts that was Ronnie's. That was the two Ronnies, wasn't it?
No, it was someone.
Ronnie
I know
O'Sullivan.
exactly who it was. See the face, but I can't think of it.
Was
but
it
it's
not the two
it's
Ronnies?
the looking at like they're gonna go for the
And then they have
dartboard.
a
No
pint.
dart in their hand. Look straight down the table. Oh, and he's gone for a whiskey
I
shot.
thought it was the two. I thought it was the two Ronnies.
No,
that
it weren't
did
the
that.
two Ronnies. It was someone else. I can't remember the names.
do you know what?
Useful information for a
don't-
podcast about politics. I can't remember this comedian.
I really don't. I don't appreciate Mitchell and Webb. I'm really sorry. Like,
I don't get Peep Show at all.
No, it's not for me.
Man, do you
I
not
can't
like
get on with it.
Sir,
Can't get on with it.
Sir Digby Chicken Caesar?
No.
Yes.
Yeah,
That Mitchell and Webb look,
That's
no.
one thing that makes me chuckle
I used
slightly.
to prefer
But
Armstrong and Miller.
Armstrong and Miller's really good as well.
Like, have you ever
Armstrong and
had
Miller.
to? What? You don't know Armstrong and Miller? You know
No.
the guy that does Pointless.
Wait. What about? Can't remember his name. Harry Enfield.
That's a
Yes,
great
Harry
introduction, by the
Enfield
way.
is
Well, I
amazing.
can't remember his name. Don't like him.
Do you know what I was thinking about, and how much? Obviously, they were like, yeah, just about how much. I mean, I think I was like 16 when the Mighty Booth,
The Mighty Booth.
the Mighty Booth,
photo booth.
the Mighty Boosh was in its
Infancy.
no, not in its infancy, in its
prime.
in its most popular stage. So to me, it was edgy. It was like, oh, I watch quirky, weird comedy that doesn't make sense to anyone. But if me and Leanne watched some clips of the Mighty Boosh the other night, and we was like, what are we watching here? Like, it's just not funny.
You're saying that, I've gone back and I started trying to rewatch comedies that I thought were sort of funny when I was younger, and just watch them, and it's horrible. And like, I started watching. I can't remember what it was. It was just like old films, and it's like it doesn't hold up. And like,
No.
I think a lot's changed since. I know it's going to sound weird. A lot's changed since 9/11. So a lot.
But that makes the thing is the way you said that made it sound like, well, all the stuff I liked as a kid is shit now because of 9/11. It was shit when you were a kid.
Damn,
you just didn't know it was shit.
Laden.
No. It's stuff like, because before
Like
that
traveling
happened,
on trains, or there's an unidentified bag.
No.
Mine.
No, it's like you watch stuff like American Beauty, and the whole like concept of American Beauty is like life's boring, blah blah blah, and we're stuck in this sort of like mundane thing. And then stuff like 9/11 happens, and it just changes your perspective on life.
Doesn't really.
Well,
It affects Americans.
Not on our life, but it changed it on where most movies are made, which is in the States. And so we end up.
There's you're making a weird point. I've got to say.
Yeah, it is pretty weird.
Because I like films that are shot in Pinewood.
So do I. Actually, no. I like really independent films anyway. Like, I'm going to sound like a fucking douchebag right now.
He's currently vaping, may I add.
If your
He's
dick
really
is a vapor, then yes. I am. No, I don't.
No blowjobs
I don't
in the
enjoy
studio,
vaping.
please.
Vaping's stupid. If I'm going to smoke, I'm going to smoke. If I'm not, I'm
Must
not.
did
admit,
you
you
just-
say vape.
Oh.
You said vaping. Sounded
It
like
sounded
raping. I like raping. I'm occasionally
Don't
raping,
get me
but
wrong. I completely agree. Raping is stupid, but yeah, vaping.
and it's fun
Well,
for one
vaping's just
of the people.
Why do people who vape think they're so special?
Because they think they can smoke indoors.
To be honest, it's just a portable shisha.
No, but I can't understand. I've got a guy. I'm not going to drop any names, and if he listens to this, he knows who
Leanne
he is.
vapes.
Yeah, sure, but Leanne doesn't post vape links every 5 minutes. That would be like me.
Is that more annoying than Candy Crush links?
It's about the
Candy
same.
Crush
I've
is
got
kind of just
someone.
part and
I've
parcel
actually
of
got someone
Facebook.
on my Facebook who posts Illuminati conspiracy.
Is that Mike?
Oh, brilliant!
Mike Dalfoy.
Cut.
Yes.
Yes. How do you know Mike? How do you know Mike Dalfoy?
Obviously from Bull and Vic days, but some of the
This
stuff
isn't
he
going to
posts is
podcast.
just fantastic.
It's like-
no, it is definitely going to.
Yeah,
podcast.
it's
Memoirs.
fluoride. It's fluoride. It's like
Oh, chemtrails everywhere.
chemtrails, fluoride.
That
it's
man
like,
farted. It's a chemtrail. We're all gonna die.
and this is
Those
what the
thing
FBI
is-
is hiding from you.
Those
And
vapor trails. Next time you see a vapor trail in the sky, remember sort of where, especially if you're in your garden and you near, because my garden is near a flight path. But when you see those vapor trails, how often do you actually see a plane heading in that direction?
a lot.
Because I see where I live, I have a garden's north facing, so everything, all the planes are going to go east to west, west to east, wherever they're landing or taking off from the 4 major airports.
Yeah.
So when I see a vapor trail that's sort of heading north south, no planes do that. No planes
If
do
you're
that.
coming from Scotland,
From where?
from Scotland.
Planes don't go from Scotland to Scotland.
No,
and
no,
go
no,
over,
no, no.
and go over fucking
you said,
Welling.
You said from north south. So if you're going from Scotland, you can be coming from that way.
To where?
Well, the rest of the
Ashford.
world.
The rest of the world.
Ashford
So to
is
Norway,
south.
you'd go across my
Ashford,
house.
Paris.
Yeah, but if you're coming from Scotland and going south, you're
And, like, you had to
going
fly-
to go over the UK.
You fly over
Yeah.
certain path areas. Like your plane won't literally go straight. It has to go via certain ways because.
I
and
know.
also,
airstreams.
what about planes
I've
that
never
aren't
seen-
necessarily commercial like vehicles now, just
They're-
planes that go in that
But
direction.
exactly what Dan said. There is a particular way they have to. They're like a route. So it'd be like going, okay, I want to go from Bexley Heath down to Chatham. Got to use the
Yeah.
A2. They essentially have an A2
Yeah.
in the sky where they have to fly on that path. I've never seen a plane over my house going north-south. It's always been east-west, but you see vapor trails that are north-south.
I have seen planes leaving vapor trails, like normal trails.
It's not a
so-
vapor trail, though. But it dissipates
Well,
and he's
No,
gone.
no, no.
But it
They are
dissipates-
vapor trails. They're not chemtrails.
They
Yeah.
they dissipate very
They
quickly.
are literally vapor trails.
They're vapor trails, but they disappear really quickly. The chemtrails, alleged chemtrails, are the ones that hang around in the air forever, that have been put there by some weather wanker.
And what do these vapor or chemtrails do?
I don't know.
They
Allegedly.
release
I don't know.
fluoride
I was-
and they put some
Fluoride,
weird
the stuff
rain
we
thing
use
over
in toothpaste to
That's
control
fluoride,
our
that's
minds.
fluorine.
Because no, it's fluoride as well, isn't it?
you. Okay, I saw this
I know
amazing
fluorine's
picture.
the element, isn't it? So fluoride would be.
So I'm waiting
nitrate,
for
nitrate.
Mike to post something really stupid again, so I can post this picture
No,
on
no,
it, and it says, "Why is there still cancer, Mum? Because Bill Gates hates us and has hired aliens to infiltrate the scientists, pilots, and doctors to poison us through food and vaccines and chemtrails, and also to suppress."
That's the other one.
suppress-
Vaccines and
Well, I'm
autism.
reading this, Aaron.
I'm sorry, just
Suppress
go
a cure, which is lemon juice and weed. Just
Lemon
connect
juice
the
and
dots.
weed.
Not too bright, are you, Jimmy? Must be the fluoride.
on. That's the other thing I absolutely hate. All right. So if you if you vaccinate your child,
You know, there was
he
only
might
one
have-
paper, one scientific paper came that said,
And it was
"Oh no,
proved
it
wrong.
might, it might."
and
It's
it was
been
proved
concluded wrong, but all these fucking nutcase mums go, "All of the things cause autism." It doesn't cause autism.
Let's. All right. So I'm going to be working with children with special educational needs quite soon. What is wrong with a kid with autism?
I have
Nothing. They
autism.
just have a different way of interpreting the world. What's
Yeah.
wrong with a dead child? Your child is dead. What would I prefer?
has a very different way of interpreting the world.
No. This
As
is what
in,
I'm saying.
Fucking doesn't.
Listen.
I've had right.
Listen.
I've no. I've got to say,
So,
I've had a look.
I guess I love dead children.
No. Look, at the end of the day, if you don't vaccinate your child and it gets one of these diseases that you could vaccinate against easily,
I see your
you
point
have
now.
a dead child.
and
Now I see your
If you
point.
have
Now I
a
see your
vaccine
point.
that might cause
And it
autism,
might happen-
I'd rather have a
But
child.
it doesn't cause autism. They
Exactly.
don't cause autism.
Yeah, but even still, even in that hypothetical that it does, I'd rather have an autistic kid than a dead kid. Because at the end of the day, autism is just a different way of learning.
An autistic kid will remember where you put your keys.
But also, a dead kid might be easier to control.
easier to control
Well, dead kids are easier to control, don't you think?
than autistic children. I mean, if that is the view of parents, then clearly they are not fit to be parents.
Or can I put not?
I
put-
can attain to that.
I'm talking about
I wouldn't
zombies.
have you as a
I ain't talking
parent.
about zombies here. Like
No, we're talking about autistic children or a dead child because of vaccination. So this is
vaccination.
Do you think
This
vaccinations
is a
work,
real sorry.
or do you think it's another way of pharmaceutical companies to not fix you and then have money out of you because you have to buy their drugs?
Do a lot of people die from rubella now who
I don't
have
know.
been vaccinated?
I don't know what
that's
rubella
not,
is.
Not that they don't work, but they could work. They could cure you, but they know that if they cure you for $10,000 now, if I'm going to cure you for $10,000 now, or do I not cure you? Don't tell you there's a $10,000 cure, and then I get $10,000 out of you every 6 months for the pills that you need to try and sustain your life. So I'm going to go with that one.
Well,
Are you saying that
I'm-
AIDS can be cured, but everyone's living with it?
not necessarily.
Not
but
necessarily AIDS. There was something I saw on the page. I think it was I Fucking Love Science that
I do love.
they've isolated something about HIV that can be controlled, and it might lead them
Yeah.
to a cure of it.
HIV is controllable.
And also,
It is, yeah.
HIV can be reprogrammed to actually target cancer cells in
I've
some
seen
cases.
that.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah, very clever.
Yeah.
But I mean, I
Because isn't HIV it latches onto a white blood cell that attacks a certain condition. So if you end up
Yeah.
with your HIV attaching itself to a really odd condition that you're never likely to be exposed to, like rabies, you're less likely. I won't say never because I'm not entirely sure. You're less
Yeah.
likely to then go on to develop AIDS. Because my understanding is if you've got HIV and it latches on, say, a cold,
Yeah.
if you get a cold, you end up with AIDS.
You all know what the
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, right. I understand medicine.
I mean, I don't. I think I
think
You think you agree with me?
I do the armchair.
Makes me feel good.
I believe it's like HIV. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it weakens your immune system, so you can die from something like a cold.
That's it. It attacks the white blood cell.
It latches on. I'm sure my understanding is it latches onto that a particular disease.
So when people say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, well, AIDS doesn't kill you, but it means you can die from a cold.
No, AIDS,
so that's
AIDS
a
does.
lie.
AIDS
It
does
depends
kill
how you spell AIDS, to be honest, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you
Poor guys, they both have AIDS.
if you
Sorry, I had to jump on it.
if you die with rabies, do you still have rabies in the afterlife?
I don't believe there's an afterlife.
This is like if you get buried in the suit, do you live in the suit for eternity?
Well, it's like
And
if
how
a plane
when you
crashes
die?
on the border of Germany and Switzerland, where do you bury the survivors? You don't bury the survivors.
No, but if you die with rabies, do you take the rabies with you?
continue
when
to
you
have
go,
rabies.
apparently
When
go
you
to
die
the
of death-
afterlife and live like an eternal life. How old are you? 30? 12?
Yeah.
Okay. Star Wars.
The age you were when you died?
In Star Wars,
Yeah, like
Oh, the Force
282.
Ghosts. You're talking about
Yeah, the
Force
Force
Ghosts.
Ghosts.
Hayden Christensen. Hate that.
No, I'm not talking about him because he doesn't exist because there's only 4 Star Wars films in the world.
Do you know what? I think I watched the other day the entire first
I would say
3
5.
Star Wars.
I would say 5.
I'm going to kind of agree with that. The first 3 Star Wars called the anti-cheese edits, where basically they cut out most of Jar Jar Binks, and if he ever spoke, it wasn't in English. It was overdubbed.
Do you believe it? Do you believe it as that?
He's
as
Darth Plagueis.
flashbacks?
He's Darth Plagueis. Jar Jar Binks was Darth Plagueis.
Okay.
I reckon.
Also,
I do like what twist.
If you watch the last 2 and pretend that
when you say last 2, we need to kind of just say episode
fuck's sake.
4 and 5
prequels-
or 5 and 6.
prequels 3 and 4, no 2 and 3.
2 and 3.
Episode
So
2 and 3,
Attack
yeah.
of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith.
If you watch
Revenge
them
of this is half
and
watchable.
imagine that Obi-Wan Kenobi is having an affair with Queen Amidala, it
Padme.
makes Hadrian once.
Do you mean Padme or Amidala?
whoever that thingy gets pregnant?
Padme.
Padme.
Both played by Natalie Portman.
Wasn't Princess Armadillo the one with the?
My laugh is going to clip the fuck out of this.
It's definitely clips.
The
I
one with
can
that
see
big
red.
dirty spot on her cheek.
Natalie Portman.
I believe that's
They're
called
both
a mole.
of them.
Yeah.
No, because they're both Natalie Portman.
Queen Armadillo had that dodgy. She had like ram horns on
Yeah.
the side of her head. That was Queen Armadillo.
So
I don't
it
like
was-
Star
the thing
Wars.
is, it was both of them at one point because to save
isn't Padme-
Amidala, Padme and Amidala look the same.
So no. So
They're the
but
same
isn't Padme
actress.
like a slave? woman?
She's one of her
No, Padme is the queen.
handmaidens.
was
The person who's Amidala is actually a decoy.
I thought it was the other way around.
was Princess?
No.
Fuck Star Wars.
The thing is, I hate those films so much. I can't give a single fuck and try and rewatch
entire
them.
Star Wars lot, or
1
the
and
first
2,
3.
episode 1
See,
and 2. I can't
what
go
do you
through-
think of the third one of those? though?
Episode 3 I like.
I think it's that is
stands-
hands
Okay.
down my
It stands-
favourite Star Wars.
No. But I've got an idea.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far.
The bit
Fucking
where
hell.
no, I'm sorry, just
Fucking
I
hell.
When-
genuinely
essentially
was
the
like,
bit where he gets Anakin Skywalkered and left for dead.
Yeah,
No, but-
that bit where he's like, I hate you. And he's
Okay.
like, I loved you, Andy.
If you watch that and imagine
Many
that
feels.
Obi-Wan Kenobi and Padme are having an affair,
But they're not.
Hayden Christensen's like reactions to
actions
some
are
of it
completely-
makes it look weird, and then it explains who Rey is.
No, it doesn't. Nothing at the moment explains who Rey is.
Ray?
Ray.
Rey.
Don't worry.
Star Wars jacket speculation. Have you seen episode 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rey. Fucking Rey.
Look, what are we doing with mics? We don't pop them. Come on.
Fucking
Is Ray the
We only
Rey
pop
is
cherries,
the one
not
they-
microphones.
Wait, is Ray the pilot?
Ray is the one they call Ray for the whole fucking film, the girl.
Oh God, I hated her.
yeah, Ray.
She can't act.
What are you on about?
Did you
What
see
was
her
that
face
pitch
throughout the whole
voice?
thing?
Better or worse than Christian
Everyone's
Stewart?
pulling his
No,
face.
Erin was pulling the fucking weirdest face ever.
That's
Yeah.
what she fucking looks
No,
like.
she
Her
doesn't.
foot's on my ass.
I must remember, you can't do facial expressions
Yeah.
on radio. She looked like this.
Look. Well,
face.
I want you to describe this.
Autism.
Everyone's having, no,
Dead
Evan.
baby rape.
Erin is having a stroke.
She looks like me having a stroke. I think she is one of the biggest things that ruined
Not a stroke.
that film.
I think she
That film was really good. Her, no.
I didn't like it.
Speaking of,
You didn't like the new one?
Didn't like episode 7.
Speaking about Princess Armadillo, do you remember when we was here playing
Ring of
Ring of Fire? And I've never seen any of the Harry Potter films. I think I've seen the second one.
Princess McGraw.
And the categories card came up, and someone was like, "Oh, Harry Potter characters." So it went round, and everyone was naming them, and I was like, "Yeah, I got one." And I was like, "Princess McGonagall," and it went past, but it sort of slowed down. And Drew was like, "Professor McGonagall."
Was I here?
No, I think it was Princess McGonagall. And he went, okay, and he went round again, and I was like, shit, now I need to think of another one. I was like, oh, Draculus Malfoy. And he was like, no, come on, you're making it up now. I was like, no, I've never seen it. He's like, you're going to say fucking like Gribbage in a minute. But I'd never seen them.
Cribbage.
Don't you think that Draco Malfoy sounds like a really good name for like a metalcore band?
Draco's Malfoy.
Draco Malfoy?
But, yeah, Princess McGonagall. Wait, why is she Princess? Professor
I don't
McGonagall.
fucking know. Why is she
It's
Princess
not King's-
Armadillo?
Was I here when you were playing Ring of Fire?
You might have done. It was the time my granddad walked past and there was Meat Spin playing out of my window. He was like,
boy.
is that you? I'm very proud of you, little Erin. You have grown to a bigger man. And he's turned Japanese.
Japanese.
You bring great
Happy
honor
Mother's Day,
to family
fellow Noho
with a
jeans.
giant penis.
And we all know this is a lie.
But Meat Swing is a
Well, no,
tranny, isn't
I
it?
didn't say it was me. I said it was Meat Swing. So my granddad...
Thought Meat Swing was you.
Meat Swing.
Well, no, he asked if that was me, and if it was me, I would have brought great honour to the family. I said, no, Grandad, mine's only 0.001 millimetre, and he was like, you bring greater shame.
I'd just like to point it out, I'm pretty sure...
Isn't Meat Swing a tranny?
no, it's two guys.
No,
I don't
Meat
think your
Spin.
granddad would have liked
No,
that.
Meat Spin.
It's two guys. I
You
don't think your
spin
granddad
me
would...
right round,
Yes.
I thought that was a
right-
tranny.
Oh, yeah,
Two
yeah,
guys.
yeah,
I don't think your granddad
I'm
would have liked
pretty
that.
sure it's a tranny.
It was playing
I'm
out
sure it's
my
a tranny.
Yeah, but you can only see like from the waist down. It's just a
But it
dick
was
going
playing
into an
out of my
arse
window,
with a
and
dick
he was
flapping
like-
around.
Oh.
I've got to find it to put myself at ease.
Do you remember N-word
Ain't no
flip?
party like a lemon party.
I can't say it, but N-word flip was hilarious.
Yeah, Niger Flip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's still...
Ninja
No,
Flip.
Niger's just a country.
What's Ninja Flip?
It's Niger, actually.
Oh, it's in Niger.
Yeah.
Sorry, Niger Flip.
there's a guy of African American descent, and he's slamming this girl in like the
Oh, it's
the
amazing.
most creative way.
When you say
He's-
slamming, do you
creative.
mean insulting?
yeah, no, he's fornicating with her, and
So he's pounding her.
yeah, he's committing
With
the
his
act of
penis.
coitus, but he's like upside
Committing
down
act.
and like backwards. I don't know how he's actually penetrating her.
It's
But
fantastic.
then he like does a forward roll. Batista bombs her, and then starts licking her out. Yeah, how can you know that's a tranny?
I tell you
Tan
what,
line?
that sounds like Batman.
You've analysed this too much.
Yeah, that's a tranny.
That's got to be a tranny.
See if you can find.
That's a she-he. Actually, no. Okay, we're gonna have to cut.
I think
okay.
I got up to
I
10,000
believe-
spins and then it said I'm gay.
Is there a tan?
I think tranny is
Oh, tub
not
girl.
politically correct to say anymore, is it?
What?
It's
Sorry?
transvestite now.
See
Who
if
is
you
what,
can
sorry?
find- see
All
if you
right,
can
so
find-
Tranny is
okay,
not
this brings me
politically
on to
correct.
a really, really, really interesting point, which could be construed as racist. If you can call a Turkish person a Turk, why could you not call a Pakistani person a?
or a British person a Brit.
Okay.
It's exactly the same.
Okay, this brings. Okay, we're all fairly whitish people here,
Fairly whitish.
I'm definitely not.
But
white.
I-
Miriam just brings
but-
the numbers down slightly.
but I believe that with the N word, I'm gonna have to say the N word. I believe
No. Just.
either
N-word's fine.
either
I don't mind saying it.
Okay,
Yeah, but
okay.
we're not those
But there's-
people.
I'm
You
not those
can't-
people. I know I
No,
don't get a free
okay,
pass.
but what,
there's-
what I'm getting at is either everyone should be allowed to say it or no one can say it, because then you're holding a stipulation to it, which then still creates that racism for the fact that
I'm
you're there.
100% for everyone should be able to say what they want, because at the end of the day, we only associate offence with a word is a word. It's just a collection of letters pronounced in a certain way. So
Like
me
cunt.
saying
But-
saying curtain could be like really racist against like red Indians or something. because
No,
those,
yeah.
Those
But
curtains are red.
But what I'm saying is, as soon as people are saying, "Oh no, only these people can say it," well, then you're saying that they're these people.
So I can't
That
be-
You're
means
then,
that-
yeah, exactly.
which then you're
it's
being racist
hypocritical.
about it.
But
Either everyone can say the word
beep.
or no one can say the word. Yeah, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Either everyone can say it or no one can say it.
But Eric,
I 100% agree
and also,
in that everyone should be able to say. But for some reason, our society is
and
like,
surely
you can't
it's to do with what you're saying it towards. Like if I'm saying these damn thing and being really horrible about it, yeah, I can understand why it's a bad thing. But if you're just saying it in a context, it's all about context.
Yep.
That's what it comes down to.
100%.
What are you watching on?
I'm watching the flip that we're not allowed to the N one.
The flipper flip.
But
I don't know how he gets from that position to the next one.
Let me just point out, right? Erin has really hit a nail on the head. Brit,
I can see
Yank,
how that works.
Aussie,
All fine.
all fine.
I'll tell you what.
All fine. You can call us Brits, Yanks, Aussies, but when I
It's
can't
because
say
it's
it.
seen. It is
But
because
no, but
it's seen as a
it's-
derogatory term. There's a couple that are really
Yeah.
seen as a
Right.
derogatory term. I'm going to say them all for the people in the room. They are going to be bleeped out. I am getting
Okay.
a horrible stare from Erin. So you can't say Nick.
How dare you?
How dare you, indeed? You can't. I learnt the hard way. You can't say.
As an
you're-
Aboriginal.
You're
To
describing
Aussies.
the Aussies hate. Well, easily offended Aussies. I fucking hated that cunt I worked with. I said because I had been told by an Australian I had worked with before, Jack your car, and it turns out I can't say that word. And I realise I've now said it 3 times. I said I was going to say it once, but you can't say that word. It's really
What
offensive.
Asbo?
And the other one you can't say in South Africa is which is it's a black South African.
Oh.
But do you know
But then
what?
it's the same. So in particular cultures, you can't say those offensive words because they mean black person. So are you not allowed to describe a black person?
But do you know
if
what?
if you were assaulted
Well,
by
okay,
if there was a
when
group
I
of
was a
guys-
kid,
if there was a group of guys and one of them was black, you go, oh, which one's Dave? You wouldn't go, he's the 6'4" one built like shit house. Yeah, but everyone else is sort of like 6'2", 6'3".
The one that you don't have to hang out sunscreen
okay, he's the
to.
black guy. I can't say it's the black guy because it's seen as derogatory.
But I think it's misuse of context. Like you're gonna have to bleep this one out, and you know. But if I said to say Ranjit down the road, he's from Pakistan.
Is his name Ranjit?
No. There is no Ranjit on my road. But if there was, racist,
you should.
Racist.
yeah, it's my fault.
Well,
it's
if there
not
is a Ranjit down the road.
But say Ranjit from Pakistan down the road. If I called him there's no difference from Ranjit calling me a Brit. If I was to say Ranjit, you smelly because that's a
That's what I was
race.
saying before. Is
Yeah.
all that context.
It is.
As long as you're not being horrible when you're saying it, it makes sense. Like I can say that someone is a bastard if their family weren't, if their mum and
Not
dad
married.
weren't married.
Illegitimate children.
But and then if I say you fucking bastard, then it's the context is a lot.
But then people
worse.
call me a cunt all the time. I have no.
And
issue
I
with
say
that.
you are what you eat.
Hey. Yeah, but,
but
I happily have people call me like dirty
Whatever.
Turk,
Fucking go
Aladdin.
berserk.
Exactly, but I think it's amazing. I actually really love it. Like,
Yeah, you are.
But then is it your? But then is it your fault? But then
it
is it your?
doesn't matter.
Do you know what
at
the
the end of the day, I don't care.
Do you know
Like,
when you
I know at the
propagate
end of the day, these people who call me these things are like my close friends, and they do anything for
you know
me.
what
And
this
I
is?
hang around with them, and they do anything. What sticks and stones, mate?
Exactly.
Sticks
This
and
is what I was going to
stones.
say. This is probably white privilege talking. But if I was black
Welcome to the room, white
and you sat here and said you're, I'd be like, so.
But they're
Thanks for describing
the thing
me.
is though, I know a lot of people that wouldn't care about that, but a lot of white people would.
I hate people that are offended on someone else's
Because
behalf.
they want
Yeah.
to take the
I hate
moral
that.
high ground.
I hate
These are
being
what we
offended
call
on someone else's behalf.
social
Like-
justice warriors.
Yeah, you can be
Who can
offended.
suck my dick.
Yeah, but if you're
Please.
offended by the N word,
Do you really want them?
Then-
It's not vegan though, so you're in a.
That's
bit
why
of-
they won't swallow. That's the disappointing thing.
There was a guy running for an ice cream truck and he must have chased it for like 3 streets. And the guy, the ice cream man, eventually saw him in his side mirror and slowed down.
So you can run
He was
him
like,
over.
oh man, sorry, like I didn't see you. What did you want? He was like, oh nothing. I just wanted to let you know I'm vegan.
All right,
And
He just hadn't said it for 5 minutes.
gentlemen, we've gone over an hour, so I think we're going to have to wrap up. So
Wrap up what? Our penises?
Michael.
Are we getting into some sort of weird orgy now?
I want to go to the pub.
Okay, no. Okay, but what I was going to say about smart people on politics and politics on smart people.
Back
That
to
was an
that original
excellent
point.
segue.
10 years.
that was an
ago.
amazing segue from what we were talking about to the original point. Well done.
But still relatable.
But there's no way of tying it back in. There's no.
There's no way of tying it
back in. There is.
We completely missed the
Just
point.
try it and
But
I'll do it.
But what I want to say is, it's the same reason why I don't read newspapers, because you either have to read every single newspaper to get a point, or you don't read any. And a lot of people who read newspapers are the sort of people that shouldn't be in politics. And
It's the people that Daily Mail their way through life, read the headline, and then take the meaning from the headline. It's like that explains nothing.
Well, that's the Sun. Okay, to me, the Sun
It's
is
the
run
Daily Mail
by
as well.
Murdoch, who is this evil corporation, but
Hasn't he just rehired his son?
Oh, come
I
on.
don't know. But Murdoch is this evil
They had page
corporation.
3.
Has.
They can't be that bad.
Tell you what, where I was working today, they one of the units they had available for was being leased by a company that manages page 3.
But,
It's like, I'm going in.
but they're this evil corporation that pretends that they're on the working class side. And that's why you can't trust newspapers. And that's also why you can't trust the politicians. And I know I'm probably way off on what I was trying to talk about. And I've been drinking.
On
and I
that
have
note,
no idea what I'm on about.
On that note, can we sign out with Chaz and Dave then? On the
No,
working class.
we will sign out with...
You can't get more working class
No.
than Chaz
Billy
and Dave.
Bragg. Billy Bragg.
Billy Bragg.
No, don't go, Billy Bragg, as though he's the best thing ever. He's a cunt.
No,
Chaz and Dave were the
I
best
do
thing ever.
enjoy a bit of Bill. No, I was going to say...
Dick Van Dyke.
No, what was it? I want to say beans and toast, but that's not quite right.
Beans on toast. Not beans and
meat and cheese.
No.
Boris
is it
and
beans
Badger.
on toast?
Mash and pie.
I don't know what
MDMA.
you're saying. You're not a Teletubby with a video screen in your stomach trying to explain it with pictures.
He says getting out his phone and putting it across his belly.
What are you on about?
Well, you've got your phone. You can use it as a video screen.
I'm trying to find what I'm on about.
And now
Brilliant.
the kind words of Chaz and Dave.
Rabbit, yep, rabbit, jabba, jabba,
You got a
rabbit.
beautiful chin.
Beans on toast.
You got beautiful skin.
I haven't got a foreskin.
I haven't got foreskin. Your iCloud is not happy.
Oh yeah, ignore that. Why are we listening? Why are we listening to rain? Oh, hello.
So we need a copyright lawyer now, don't we?
Copyright.
As long as you speak over it, it's fine.
Met a pretty girl at a festival with a bag of MDMA.
Well,
I love
that's
MDMA.
pretty working class.
That is working class. Who's this?
Went to
Kevin Bloody
Green
Wilson or
Day.
something?
Now I warn you, this shit
It's,
tastes foul.
He's an Aussie.
Put it
He's
in
an Aussie,
your
though, isn't he?
coke, But try to swallow all of it. It'll knock
think
your
he's from, like,
fucking socks
Chataway.
off. So the two of us were wired, and the festival's in flow. We wandered round and watched some
He sounds
bands
really
smiling
Southern
as we
Hemisphere.
go. As the day
sounds like
turns
he's
into
the London
night time,
who's
a
talking
fire's being
sounds like someone
lit.
that's like- he has-
We
he does,
dance
yeah.
to an unknown DJ and sneak a little kiss.
All right. So on this note, we're going to wrap up. What do we call this podcast?
The Armchair.
The Armchair.
The Armchair. Thank you very much for listening. And Jack Stent means a wee wee. Good night.
Ecstasy.